we go. We are live, my friend.
The broadcast is live, coming to you from a very glamorous location here on the Gold Coast. How are we, guys? Let's get the music started, shall we? It's the Demi version.
I'll let the people comment on your surroundings.
Please do.
Just been killed in a few positions.
Very good. We'll
All
get to that in a minute.
Were closed out in lovely profits, and I've just opened up another 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
No one likes a bragger, Andy. No one likes
Not
a
bragging,
bragger.
mate. I'm just stating the facts.
Well, we're going to go over that on the show. So it's amazing, especially when you started saying about how intuitive you are starting to feel the energy of the market. And yeah, we can have a good conversation around that. So how is everybody today? Claire is in the house. So I can see the comments, but I can't bring them up. For some reason, it's not letting me bring them up, which is strange.
Do I need to do your job, mate? The one thing that you got to do, click on someone's comment.
The only thing I can do well. The only thing I can do well.
You can answer that question, mate, since you're in the car.
Mate, it brought back memories of Andy met me. He took pity on me when I was homeless outside a bus shelter. Well, that's what he tells everyone. And it just brought back memories.
True story, guys.
Well, at least I've got a car now to sit in. Yeah, I'll click on that one with Con. Are you coming live from inside a car? Yes, Con, I am. A very glamorous location.
Oh, I only just noticed now it's the Greek version.
Yeah. You started talking over it, so I was like, okay, that's fine.
Good man.
So we've got Dominicus in the house, we've got Con, we've got Claire. But the comment king has struck again, guys. Slavomir.
Unbelievable.
I tip my hat to you. Dan Tyler's in the house, loving
Dan feeling the Greek version, mate.
I wondered how that sentence was going to end. Dan's feeling the Greek ... A little bit, that would have been interesting. Kevin's also in the house. We've got a few Facebook users. Guys, click on the StreamYard link. Maybe Dan can post the StreamYard link here in the comment section. We would love it. Obviously, you don't have to do it, but we would love it if you click on the link and register so that we can see a photo and see a name. Just like Haley, if you click on Haley Wortley, who's just joined us live, we see a picture and we see a name. She's heard that there's some strange guy doing a webinar, or not a webinar. What is this? A Facebook Live from a car. Are you hiding from the missus, Gav? You know me well, mate. You know me well. Yes. May as well. Just say it. Are you hiding from the missus? Something like that. Something like that. No, it's being totally honest. I've been kicked out of my place because they're selling it. There's a massive frenzy. Con, you probably know this as well, being an Aussie. There's a massive buying going on in the property market at the moment. So, and really high prices. So everybody's selling up at the moment. It's really low mortgage rates, and we could have a whole conversation around that. But people are trying to sell whilst the prices are so high. So people are buying without even viewing the properties. And obviously with all the kind of Rona stuff as well, people are coming to the Gold Coast because we're kind of relatively Rona free, no mask malarkey or anything like that. So people that have got kind of strict estates, they're all coming in mass to the Gold Coast because the secret's out now. It's a beautiful place to live. So all the rentals are going, like, before even people are viewing them, people are applying. Can you imagine that in London? You go to rent a property, and before you've even viewed the property, you have to put in an application to take the place.
That sounds very long, mate. I'd rather be homeless.
Or Sleep in a car, mate.
Exactly.
Sleep in a car, mate.
Exactly.
Do you know what the funny thing? So yeah, I've been caught on the hop because I thought, it'll only take me a month to find somewhere. I normally land on my feet. It's been 7 weeks, guys. And literally, like, there's 40, 50 people going to each viewing. People are paying up front for a year. There's just been it's just been a bit crazy. So hopefully I'll get something lined up. But I'm staying up in the up a volcanic mountain. So if you've seen some of the videos that I've been filming the last couple of weeks, absolutely amazing place to live. We get kangaroos outside the place, exotic parrots, eagles, like views of trees and mountains for miles. But the internet is absolutely shocking. That's the one thing. So yeah, you think you can do a Facebook Live, and I was like, no, it's not going to happen. So I have to jump in the car and come and drive down to the car park at the gym. Very glamorous, rather than you not seeing my face. So that's my story. But a bit more interesting than that, we're going to be talking about the bloodbath that has been the crypto market for the last few days. Is it over, or have we got a bit more turbulence to go until we get to the top of Bull Run Mountain? That is the question on everyone's lips, Mr. Demi. So if you can give us a preview and give us your kind of psychic premonition on what's going to happen with Bitcoin, because I think a lot of people are interested right now.
Yeah, I'll try and see if I can use my psychic abilities to predict what's going to happen. No, I think, I think that the best thing to be doing right now is I'm confident that the bull run will resume. I don't believe we are done. I think we've got probably a couple more months of upwards movement. Now, having said that, you have to be prepared. So, if you're over leveraged and you've got a massive positions, the market can really, really take you out and surprise you. So you have to be very careful. Here's what I'm doing right now. You might have seen it. I've been posting it in the other group. I'm making money on the futures. I'm making money. I'm holding my spot firmly. The ones that I believe in, the projects. Sometimes I get asked, shall I try and get, we've had a little run up. Is it going to go a little bit lower? Shall I sell my spot and then try and buy them cheaper? No, don't do that. Hold your spot. If you bought into a project that you believe in, that you believe is going to be something that's, if you're just buying off off tips and you have no idea what you're buying, then that's a different story. But if you're buying a project that you believe in is going to be here for the long term, it's going to go up, that's an investment. You don't mess around with investments. You leave them alone. If you're trading off leverage, if you're using margin, then that's when you kind of really want to consider if you want to make some amendments or changes to your holdings. Now, from what I'm seeing, here's the interesting thing, guys. I mean, Bitcoin has found a really nice support area. But there's a but here. I think there's a run up here from here to what I've worked out. I think we run up to, let's say, 41,000 and then 47, and then maybe pull back. But I think I'll be surprised if we break the lows and go down to 25. I know that's the number that people are speaking about, 25,000. I'm not expecting it, but what I will say is right now the volume is not back in the market. So we've had a correction, but if you study Bitcoin's up bar, the volume is lower than the down bar, which basically is showing me right now that the demand is not there yet. That's not to say it's not going to come back in. So a little tip is you should, potentially the market will range or retrace quietly. But I would take advantage of the uncertainty and trade zones right now. That's what I would recommend. So find really nice ceilings and floors and trade. This is where your trading skill matters. You can make really good money whilst the market is trying to find its feet. I think there's projects out there that will go up. I'm going to talk about one of them today. So today I will go through something that I bought today, and I'm planning on buying more of, that I believe is showing strength. And so you can find long-term plays that are looking stronger than, let's say, Bitcoin, and you can invest in those. But if you're asking my opinion, I think that we'll consolidate a little bit, push up a bit from here. And I'm not expecting the market to go any lower. But like when we spoke 2-3 weeks ago, if you remember, Gavin, I was talking about the retracement. I had a strong sort of conviction that the market could retrace. That's what I was talking about. I said, if it holds 60,000, we probably retrace to 38, 40,000 is what I was talking about. Obviously, it went a bit lower, went to 30,000. And now, speaking from this point of view, I can see why people will say it can go to 25,000, but even though the demand is not back in, if I had to make a prediction, I'd say that we are not going to go any lower right now. I think we'll hold and push up from here, at least for the next few weeks, and then we'll kind of reassess and we'll see. But I don't think the bear market is here. I really don't think that. I think this is just I don't even want to call it a collective effort to wipe out a few people and buy cheap. So the people who've got the money can buy cheap and become richer. I think that's part of what's happened. So what I've been urging all of you guys is to stay strong. Don't lose sight of the big picture and focus and keep doing what you were doing before, because that is just an event that may knock a lot of people out, but that mustn't be you. You have to stay strong. And that's why we do this stuff, why we run these shows, why we do this group, because I wouldn't be able to do that 17 years ago or 16 years ago. But having done this for 18 years, I've seen everything and I know how to handle it, and I know how to just stay calm in chaos. And that's important, that you have to do that. Any other questions, Gavin, from your car?
Yeah, if you can take that comment down just in case my missus is tuning in, that'll be helpful.
Oh, right, yeah.
You're trying to make these windows steam up, mate, aren't you? So, I mean, yeah, guys, look, this is a time for you to pick Andy's brains, especially if you've taken the time to tune in live. So if you've got any questions, let's make Andy earn his money today, and he can see what it's like to be in the hot seat with the comments. But yeah, it's really interesting what you're saying, and there's so much information coming out, and ultimately, I don't really feel like it's a bad thing. Yes, if you were over leveraged, if you kind of put too much in that you couldn't afford to lose, if you had too much margin, if you were gambling, if you were speculating, then yes, it's going to be really painful. But there's a lot of reasons as to why this could actually be good, from dark money coming out of the markets and people that were maybe looking to do some nasty things, shall we say, and moving that money through cryptos. The interesting thing for me is when you say about you had the intuition, you had a feeling on Sunday. Can you talk to us a little bit more about that? Because one thing that I've kind of been hearing a lot of from certain angles of people is that crypto, because it's an energy, it's a store of value. Therefore, on a deeper level, it is an energy, and the crypto market is a living, breathing kind of entity or energy. Whereas like the FX market, because it's based on debt, it's kind of a dead market. It's stagnant. Whereas this has got more of an energy to it. So it's really interesting when I hear like you as a professional trader talking about intuition and using that in the markets. And I'd just like to kind of explore that angle before we get into some of the charts.
Yeah, I mean, I've got to say, I don't know if I think that it applies to any market, if I'm being honest. And I think that it comes from this. When you, yes, I know what you mean. Like there's more emotion to cryptos for sure. So I get what you're saying, but I think like what when I'm really, really involved in the markets, and you've studied for so long and you watch something all the time, that's why sometimes people say, focus on one or two, like when you're trading. And I always used to say, well, you don't really need to, because if you have a systematic approach to trading, you don't really need to just focus on one or two. Just keep going through them, find your levels, find your stop, find your targets, and whatever else. And I still believe in that advice. However, if you're day trading something, if you're trading something that you need to kind of really understand price movement and energy and all those kind of things, the more you day trade one or two, the better you're going to get to understand it and feel that market. But what I was referring to about, that intuition on Sunday, I think was, I don't know, a combination of knowledge and feeling that I just knew that was going to happen. Like I was absolutely certain, really certain. But how do I get to that point where I know that? I don't know. I think it's just, or I'm trying to think of like how somebody else can get to that point. I think just being engrossed and just continuously watching the markets and just continuously studying, like going through the charts, and you just start to see, like, I don't know, like maybe it was, I think the speed is important. So I was looking, I believe it or not, I made that conclusion immediately on my phone, where sitting in my daughter's room, waiting for her to go to sleep. And I just saw and I was looking at Ethereum and I saw the price action. And then
most parents don't wait for their kids to fall asleep. They read them a story, whereas you're sat on your
I'm reading charts, mate.
Brilliant.
My wife can take care of the stories. I'm teaching them charts. They come in my office and we go through the markets. I'm not kidding either. But anyway, so literally, I was like, this is going to go up. Bloody hurry up and go to sleep. And I could, so I literally I could see the price, the upticks versus the downticks, and I could just see it. And I was like, right, let me see what the other markets are doing. So I just scrolled across a few other charts, and they all looked the same. I just thought, okay, money's coming in right now. These are going to fly. So I literally, as I was waiting for her to sleep, I built my watch list up. I was like, right, these are my 10, and these are my prices. And I just came in and like a wizard, I was just bang, 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 like put the stop target, and I used the futures calculator because it's quicker. Because I have to, you mustn't rush. Like the thing is like, if you're in that position, what people do is they just get in, they buy, they FOMO in, right? And they don't do any calculations. No, you have to do it properly still. Even if you think the market's going to go, it's gone, it's fine. Even if you have to pay a worse price, that's fine as well. Make sure this is your stop, this is where you want to get in, and this is how much you want to risk. Those things have to be, they have to be done. If they're not done, you're now gambling and you're not doing the right thing. So even if you had the right feelings, the right idea, the right setup, but you just sort of jumped in and you're like, oh, let me just stick something on it. Well, you're gambling. That's what you're doing, because you've no idea. Like, what if you're wrong? What if it just spikes a little bit lower and then goes? You haven't done any calculations. So, like, there's a point where the trade doesn't make any sense, right? So, like, okay, I think it's going up now, but obviously if it takes out that last low, it doesn't make any sense anymore. I've got it wrong. I want to be out of that trade, and I don't want to be blowing up my account. I want to be risking a certain amount. So I know I've kind of digressed a bit, but like, I think, I think it's, it really is like, the more you look at price, and not being stressed out is important as well. So you have to be calm. So if you're worrying about your positions, you never see what I saw, never. It never happens. Like, because it's like you have to be open to both sides. You have to just be open to what's there, not what you want to happen, but what's there. So I think I've mentioned this before, and it's just come to me now. When I used to trade really, really massive size for the institutions, I used to day trade. I used to get into a trade, and I think I've said this before, like, and at some point, if it wasn't quite doing what I wanted it to do or what I thought it was going to do, and there might be a point where like I've gone black and I'm like, is this the right trade? Am I? And remember, like, we're dealing with a huge amounts of money, and you just get this like uncertainty in you. You're not sure if that trade is good or not anymore. Like, your rationale has gone. I'd close the trade and then I could look at the chart again, completely free. Like, that was something that, or I'd literally cut 90% of it. So, but I'd pretty much get the trade out. So then I could just say, okay, let me look at this objectively now. This and this. So then that's where your trade plan is important. So these are the things that you look at. This, and this has happened. This has happened. Okay, let me look. Okay, yeah, actually, no, it does make sense. It is a good trade. And I'll put it back on. I don't worry about the commissions or the fees that you're paying. So that's why I say, like, if you've got a massive position right now in Bitcoin and it's way, way more than what you should have, every little move down is stressful. And you can't think rationally anymore. You can't make those intuitive decisions. Does that make sense? So
well, yeah, because basically that we're all becoming attached to the outcome, aren't we?
Yeah, and once you're attacked, I mean, so there's a real fine line. People don't understand it. Like, of course, we want it to go our way. We want to make money. So that's something we want. That's what we're doing our work for. But am I attached to that? Like, am I going to rely on that to pay for my food? Am I relying on that for my retirement? Because if you've got that kind of pressure, like, imagine, right, Bitcoin going up, you retire, Bitcoin going down, you have to work an additional 10 years. I'm just giving you a crazy example. Like, past retirement, you have to work till you're 75 instead of 65. Well, that's a lot of pressure on Bitcoin going up. How are you going to sit tight on that, right? You're not going to be able to. Oh my God, it's gone down 10, 20. Yeah, it's like, it's worth 40,000. It's not a problem. Yeah. But do you see what I'm saying? So I think, so that's what, what's the balance? Use futures and trade it. Like, then you can just take advantage of those swings.
Really interesting. So I was speaking to a couple of people. So for us, anybody over this side of the pond, for us, it was like 9-10 p.m. I didn't think it was gonna turn as quickly as it did. So for Sunday night for you guys in the UK and Europe, I thought maybe it was going to be a Monday, but by the time I got up, I placed a limit order on Bitcoin for 29,700, and obviously it came down to 31, and then that was it. It was gone from there, and I wasn't just going to jump in the middle just because I'm not gonna chase it. But the one that I was pretty gutted about, I saw VeChain went down to 6.6, which is a great deal on VeChain. Potentially, obviously do your own research. But the one that I was particularly gutted about was Ethereum. Ethereum went all the way down to 1750, which was a great little pickup if anybody got into that one.
Yeah. I think, yeah, no, absolutely. I think, like, the problem is that, again, everything that you're doing, like 1750 obviously was a great price, but we thought when it was at 4,000, we would love to have seen 3, 2.5, 2.
Well, people were getting in at 2.5, weren't they? Because they thought that was good value, and there's nothing wrong with it. There's nothing wrong with it.
I was. So my point is like 1750 is good until you see 1,500. So
well, that's what I was like. I was like 1,550 for me. That would be an amazing pickup zone.
Yeah, but this is the thing. I think, like, people, I think that's why we have to that's why something like dollar cost averaging works, because then you don't have to think about what. So if you're just literally accumulating a coin, you just average yourself in and not worry about where the low is, because ultimately speaking, this is the way you want to think about investments like this. If I'm right, which I think I will be, I'm pretty confident that Ethereum will be hitting 10,000 this year.
Yep.
So whether you bought 2,000, 1750, 2.5 or 3, you're going to make 3, 4, 5x. And you could even make a little bit more if you're using margin, right? On your return on investment. Now, I'm not saying that's huge amounts of money, because in cryptos, like, people want 100x. But we're talking about a very, very secure project, stablecoin that all the developers are using. It's the main platform. And then I believe if you hold it for the next 3 or 4 years, you'll be at 40,000. So then you're looking at a massive return on investment. And don't forget, as you earn money, as you make more money from whatever else you do, from either trading, from working, you can keep investing. You can, again, just keep buying small amounts. You can even, I know on crypto.com, you can do a direct debit. So you can have £200 a month going into Ethereum if you want, like from your, so you don't care. Like anything under 5,000 is a bargain for Ethereum, because 5,000 is a 2x there. So even where we are right now, it's a good price. Even if it went lower to 1,500, it's still a very good price. So
100%. And I've heard there's other exchanges now where you can buy things like Ethereum and Bitcoin, obviously, and then they're going to give you like staking, and then there's other things that you can do on there as well, like all these things where you can just invest in spot and then just get interest on it as you're going. And then obviously you've got a portion of your funds there, and then the other portion of it you can start trading with the margins in the futures. And there's so many different ways around this. It's very, very exciting times. And guys, this is super complicated right now. You know, we're at the tip of the spear, even though there's more and more people coming into this. And we've been speaking about it for a few months. You've been trading it since the start of the year. We're still at the tip of the spear, guys. And it's only going to get easier for people to get in, which is obviously then going to shoot the prices up. But that could still take till the end of the year. So there's still going to be some really, really exciting opportunities. And one thing I love what you've said, it's all about picking and I know a lot of this is repeated if you're watching this every week. But it's great stuff to be repeating, because it's repetition that builds the success habit and the success muscle. And maybe it's repetitive for you, but for all of us that are getting to hear you, to keep saying the same things and to keep lodging it in our brains, pick projects that you believe in, because then even if it goes down, you're like, well, I know I'm holding this for 1 or 2 years. I'm hodling, you know, or it's a lifer or whatever terms you want to put on it. If we believe in the project, again, that's another way to take the heat off, right? And to take the attachment out of the way.
Absolutely. I mean, look, it's not easy seeing, like, I guess and we all feel like this, by the way. So I'll say I'm in this included. If you could have bought at 1,750 and instead you bought at 3,000, of course you'd rather, you're like, oh man, if I held on, I would have bought at 1,750. And the same goes with any project. Like if you bought at 10 and it got to 2 and then it went to 20, of course you think, oh man, I could have bought 5 times more if I'd bought at 2. It's always the best case scenario. But what if you didn't buy at 10 and you bought at 20? We never think of that scenario, right? Where it's at 20 now. So like even Bitcoin, somebody who bought at the worst possible time at 20,000, like in that last sort of bull run, and then it went down to 3,000, they like literally probably thought it was the end of the world. But then we've seen 60,000 and obviously we're back at 40, but we'll probably see 100,000 and maybe even beyond that. So the point is this: do you believe Bitcoin will be higher in the next 12 months to 5 years than where we are today? If so, it's a good investment. Like if there's a good chance that it's going to be higher in the next 12 months to 5 years, like that's a good size, that's a good like period for investment, something like this. Ideally people say 3 to 5 years in long-term projects, because cryptos will be mainstream. Now what you can do is if you feel like, I think the one thing that I said, don't sell your spot, and I really do believe that. One thing you can do, if you want to, is if Bitcoin hits 100,000 this year, that could be the point where we get a correction in the whole market. So that's the point where you might want to make a decision. You can either, what I'll be doing at that point would be either reducing my spot, or probably more likely I'll just be shorting Bitcoin, like as a hedge. So that way you make money on Bitcoin going down, and then you let your spot basically keep doing what they're doing, because there'll be projects even in a bear market that will still do okay, and you can earn interest on a lot of them as well. The proof of stake projects, you can earn interest. So that's what I'd be doing. Just keep staking them, earning the dividends, and then over time they'll go back up anyway. So as long as you're not going to sell them, you don't need the money, then that's the best way to do it.
Awesome. Look, I know, guys, we've been speaking about this. I see in the comments, I think our comments have been hacked. People are posting under us saying about buying some scammy thing or something. So ignore that. And there's a few people posting saying, I sent 2 Ethereum to an Ethereum wallet. As soon as you hear that, you know, scam, and it's nothing to do with us, guys. So we'll look into that. But yeah, there's
yeah, guys, please ignore these people that feel like it's okay to come on and scam people and post things like this.
Yeah, it's not the real people.
They'll be removed from the group. I think you guys are smart enough to know that this sort of stuff is, you know, what gives these markets a bad name. And we're completely against this sort of stuff, literally stealing from people. So sorry we have to say that on the show, but I just want to make sure that, especially for new people who are not aware, there's no such thing as these kind of get rich quick where you give 1 and they give you 3. I mean, who on earth believes that stuff? I don't even know. But obviously some people do, which is why these people feel it's okay to do that. So, but yeah, do it the right way, and you won't have to worry about working for many, many years. If you do the right things the next 3 to 5 years, you'll be looking at an early retirement. That's for sure. And if this is like, in my opinion, right now, guys, I'll say this on record. This is like right now, having the chance to go back and invest in Amazon, in Google, in all these sort of companies just before the internet exploded. That's what you're investing in right now. And if you've done that, even with modest investments, if you think, people might say, I've only got $1,000 or $2,000 or $500, small amounts can create life-changing amounts. When if you had invested $100 or $500 in Amazon when it first started, I think you wouldn't even need to be on this show right now.
Well, but this is the point. You get the choice to choose what you do with your time, and obviously that's the goal for all of us. I say all of us apart from you, because you're already there and you're choosing to give your time to this. So that's the opportunity that we're presented with, guys. And I, you know, I for one, and there's many other people, and I'm sure Andy will testify to this, there are going to be so many exciting projects that maybe we don't even know about yet. It's all about timing as well. That's coming over and out in the next couple of years, because this technology is just being more and more advanced, and it's actually going to be used to help people and to go to causes. When you've got that as a project and you can make money off it, then we're starting to talk about just game changer for humanity and for our own bank balances. So with that being said, I was hoping what we could do now is kind of jump in and have a look at a couple of the trades that you were looking at and see if we can pick up through osmosis. I know we've only got a bit of time in the show, but it would be great to kind of see what you were looking at and see if we can kind of understand.
Well, I've got a set. I can look at things from now, really, rather than going back. Things that I'm actually looking at that might help people. But yeah, I'm happy to do whatever. But I just want to say one more thing as well. That's important, so I don't forget. You know, like markets weren't designed for people to make money. They were designed for few people to make money. And you've got to remember that. Okay, please remember that. So there will be scaremongering. There will be news events that there will be things that you hear. Governments are going to seize everything. Governments are going to take it away. China's doing this. This is just there to scare you. And then there'll be friends and family that tell you you're an idiot. What's wrong with you? Why? Especially if you've just started investing and things have just gone down, and they will make you feel like you've done something stupid. I don't know if that's you or not, but what I will say is like all of this is designed to keep you where you are. Simple as that. To keep you small, to keep you working in the 9-to-5 system, so that you always have to, because the economies rely on that. But you have to step outside of that. You can't be a sheep, and just be strong-minded. Don't discuss what you're doing with people that are not going to be supportive. Keep that to yourself. Don't go and discuss it with people that are going to basically bring you down. This is a really important message, because I know it happens to people. They give up, and then they realize they were sitting on a gold mine. They realize that they had the chance to buy Google when it was $1, and they didn't. So that's what we're talking about here. There are projects here that you can buy for $1 that will be 100, no doubt. And even like your stable ones, we're looking at massive potential returns. You have to stay strong and keep developing your knowledge and invest, and obviously keep it within your sort of, don't kill your lifestyle. So you need to make sure you've got enough money to live, but put what you can in, and don't worry about sort of like, putting everything in. Just put what you can in, and it will pay off. I'm absolutely confident of that. So anyway, I just wanted to say that because it's important to me that people don't get scared off, because things can get worse, and and it's very easy to kind of give up. Right, let me do a screen share.
I think it's very interesting, but I have a high suspicion that 80 to 90% of the people that are here have probably got that rebel spirit in them anyway, and that what you said they totally resonate with that. Obviously the more traditionalists are still going to be following more of the same path and the systems, as it will. So yeah, I think that would have resonate with a lot of people. I know it resonated with me, mate. So what are we looking at here?
So this is one that I bought Matic. I'll be honest with you. I mean, I was long in this from 30 cents, but unfortunately I didn't buy loads of it. But I really believe in it as a project, and I am accumulating Matic. So I want to kind of share with you essentially what I'm doing on this one. So there's no point worrying about when it was at 30 cents, because it was probably, it was even lower than 30 cents at one point. And yeah, this is kind of exploded. But there's a couple of things here. Why is my screen dusty? So I want to share something with you, what I was saying before. So if you have a look over here, volume on. Here's what's interesting here. If you guys see here, look at the up bar. The up bar has really high volume, strong up bar, really high volume. The down bar has, so this little pullback here has lower volume. Okay, so that's showing me a good sign. Now, the other thing I like here is, despite most of the cryptocurrencies kind of really dropping below their main EMAs, this one kept on its main EMA, like it held. Look at its long-term support was here, right? Which we haven't broken since the start of the year. And look, the spike down, it came back into this little zone and then bounced up really nicely on good volume. Now, I just want to briefly compare that to what Bitcoin has done. And don't worry about all the lines and everything, but just look at the volume here. The down volume is up. The up volume is down. compared to the down volume. So right now, it's what I was saying before, the demand has not come back into Bitcoin. Like the new money is not coming in at the rate that we're seeing in Matic as an example. So that's why I said, look, I did a coaching session this morning and we were saying, look, there's no point buying, like jumping in here because it's clearly not being backed here. So we probably will get some kind of pullback. So if you want to buy Bitcoin, put in a bid a little bit lower. Don't buy it here. It doesn't make any sense right now. So I just wanted to kind of sort of show you that. And the other thing as well is if you kind of look at the 4-hour chart on Bitcoin, you want to kind of use the 200 and the 50 EMA. The 50 EMA is down. It's holding as resistance. It's crossed below the 200. The price is still below. So here's what I'm thinking with Bitcoin. I think we might create this. So we've got this potential head and shoulders. So something like that, potentially. We want to kind of keep an eye out on the volume. Now, the other thing that I notice here, guys, on Bitcoin is the stochastic RSI. This is quite a decent signal, like here, right? So like this one here, you can see the market went down when the stochastic RSI was up here. And then here, the market basically went down up to there. And then here, the market went down when the stochastic RSI, where's the stochastic RSI? It's in the same place. Look, even here, right? Market went down. So where's the best place to buy Bitcoin? When's the best time to buy this if you want to buy it? Here, when the stochastic RSI on the 4-hour goes to the oversold, right here. If you want to buy it, look, I mean, this one here caught a nice bounce. This one caught a nice bounce. And now we'd be buying it potentially as it gets into this zone. Ideally, what I'd like to see is I don't want to see Bitcoin lower than this low. I want it to hold somewhere here between 35 and 36,000 ideally. And the stochastic RSI to be below 20. And if you have got those two things in line, this is a great buy zone. And you could do this as a trade with a stop just below those lows. And you could target maybe even just back up here. So that's what I'm seeing on Bitcoin as a setup. So that's kind of like, so between 35 and 36 would be ideal to look as a buy. But ideally, we'd like to see the stochastic oversold, ideally. Or at least getting close to it.
That is beautiful work, my friend. Have we got time for one more? Can we do one more?
I wanted to just go back to Matic.
Okay, cool. Just before you do that, I just want to do a public service announcement. So for everybody that's signed up to the Crypto Like a Pro trading program, we've got the first live Q&A session with Andy this Thursday. So check your emails because you would have had an email letting you know of the times. And then the following Saturday, we've got the first live masterclass. So obviously Andy's only able to do a certain amount in this call, but we'll be getting him for a whole 3 hours. So make sure your accounts are funded, as we've already said, and you'll get to go hunting with the man, the myth, the legend live next Saturday for a whole 3-hour session, which is going to be awesome. So yeah, check your emails. The first Q&A session is this Thursday. The first live masterclass to go hunting for all of these setups will be the following Saturday. So with that being said, back to you, my friend.
No worries, man. Yeah, and if you haven't got the email, if you've got any issues, just you can just message us or message Dan Tyler or Ben Brown or even Gavin himself. Just and they'll double check. But you should have an email, so just with all the information. Right, let me go back to Matic. So let's have a look at this one. So I've actually put in 2 orders for this. One got filled, and the other one is a little bit lower. So one was actually 153 was my order that I just got filled on, and my second order is here. But I just want to point out a couple of things here. So as I said before, I like the look of the daily time frame, really nice, strong, backed by volume. So that's great. So this is one of the strong ones. Now, again, what I was saying before is I really like the fact that this one has basically got the 50 and the 200 in the right place. So the 50 is above the 200. And the price is also above the 50 and it's also above the 200. So basically, these become potential buy zones. So this is one buy zone. This is a second buy zone. And then I also put in the Fibonacci. And I always look to see, right, where is the 618? So the 618 is where that yellow line is right there. So 122. So, and it's also an old resistance point there that becomes a future support point. So essentially, I am buying some here and I'm buying some here if we get lower. And I'm looking for that. And you can put a protective stop just beneath those lows. And looking, and then I'm, with this, for most of the trades, I put in I do put in a target. This one I'm leaving open for now. And I'm looking to trail my stop up. At some point, I'll be trailing the stop. And you can trail it behind your 50 or your 200. But that's basically what I'm looking for. Now, there's other things as well. I looked at order flow. And there was a lot of orders at 153. And there's also a lot of orders at 120. So I'm looking to buy just above 120, about 125 on this one. Ideally, also, it would be good if we had the stochastic oversold, but this one I don't think was as effective as the Bitcoin. So like this one did correct, but what happened here was, so this is a good little tip actually. I'll give you this. So if you see that the stochastic is overbought, like here, and the market basically goes sideways like that, wait for the stochastic to go oversold, and then you could play a breakout. So you could then play a breakout. So if this, so in other words, if this just kind of went sideways here and didn't get back to this entry, and then this ended up going down to here, you could literally just say, okay, I'll play a breakout there, and you can kind of use some momentum indicators to help you. So that's what my plan is for this one. I'm long half my position and I'm looking for the other half around 125. And I do think this has got massive potential to go much, much higher here. So I wouldn't be surprised if we, are breaking these highs in the next sort of couple of weeks and heading higher. So that's the plan. I mean, there's a few others, but obviously there's only a limited amount of time, but I will be covering lots and lots on the masterclass that's coming up. So I'll be covering as many as I possibly can in that time.
That's awesome. I cannot wait for that. That's not this Saturday, but the following Saturday, right?
I believe that's correct. I rely on you for that stuff.
Three whole hours will be amazing. And I did forget to say as well, if you're a past student and you've been through the program, you get to come back. Andy's decided to open it up. You'll also get to come on the live Q&A starting this Thursday. So you should receive an email as well. So we got you back. We got you covered. You're welcome to come back onto the live Q&As to refresh things, obviously with everything that's going on in the market at the moment. So we'll see you there, new and past students, this Thursday, the live Q&A session. And then for the new students, it will be the live 3-hour masterclass next Saturday, which will be amazeballs. If you've got loads more trades like Matic up your sleeve, then it should be exciting, mate. So now this would come to the part of the show where I press a few buttons, show a nice couple of graphics. But as I'm a hobo,
and I can't do things like that. So
let's see how you close the show, mate. What do you want to do?
Well, it's up to you, mate. You're put some music on, do a little dance for the people. It's
mate, there's no dancing in here, mate. There's no dancing in here. So that's it. And I've got the music queued up because it's force of habit now. And yeah, check out for your emails. And if you're in the free group, so the Crypto and FX Traders Club, hopefully you've got a ton of value. So if you didn't know, yesterday we talk about FX in Pips Like a Pro, the live show. Andy does a similar thing where he gives a professional trade setup of the week on any currency pair that you, the viewer, want to see. And then today we talk about crypto. So we'll be back next Monday, unless you're in one of the other private groups, in one of the programs to get more of this man's time. So with that being said, have an amazing week. We'll either see you again on Thursday, or failing that, we'll see you again next Monday for the next free show in this group. So with that being said, here is our usual goodbye song. He found it. I know.
I'm a pro.
You got the wrong one, mate. You got the wrong one.
Oh, hold on. This one.
Nope. Good effort, mate. You got to have an intuitive feel for it.
There you go. There you go.
And I know what's coming next.
If I learn all this stuff, mate, we won't need you.
That's fine, mate. I'll just sleep in the car.
Huh?
I'll just drive around Australia and sleep in my car. It's fine.
We can't hear your music, mate.
Can you not?
It needs to go up.
Well, you should be in charge of the music as well, boo-boo.
No, that's too much, mate.